All right, it looks like it's possible that we are live. Is there anybody in the room right now? Like most of the time, like most of the time that I've been doing live streams, it's Legend. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Can you hear me okay, Legend? And is it just me, or am I extremely blurry, or am I clear right now? So someone put either blurry or clear. Yeah, that's what I see too. I don't know if I have the bandwidth for this. Let me check something out real quick. Give me 1 second, folks. I think what's happening is I'm actually streaming on two different YouTube channels right now. That's the problem with having a YouTube problem, is that you have too many channels to try to actually go live on one of them. And I just got a brand new software and I'm not digging it too much. So can you hear the audio okay? Let me know if somebody give me a thumbs up if the audio is okay. Because I'm okay if you can't see me, but can you hear the audio? Okay, good. So obviously you guys already know it came out this afternoon that Shane Hooks is now off the hook at Ole Miss and out there in the transfer portal for us to grab. Now, to start this whole thing out, who believes that Shane Hooks actually, let me start this out a different way, because I know there's probably some non-CU fans in this chat, or I should say non-CU fans. So probably all of us are Prime fans, but is there anybody that feels like Shane Hooks might be going somewhere other than CU right now? Put that school in the chat. Maybe like Cincinnati. Who thinks Cincinnati is going to be the school that he's going to go to? Because I think that's one of them. You said you don't. So Mario says, I don't want him. Do you know how many crucial balls he dropped last season? You know, I'll be honest with you. I watched a little bit of Shane Hook's video when he first entered the portal because I thought he was coming here, and then he didn't come here. So I didn't really check out much after that. But let's go through his. You said not sure Prime wants him 5280. That may be true. I've heard that actually a couple of times that there might be some bad blood there for some reason, but it's possible that he's coming here. Let's just for the sake of this live stream, talk about what happens if he comes here, because let's say G3 says Hooks is waiting for the scholarships to open. Yeah, it's going to have to be at the end of this. Let me try something here. All right, there we go, guys. So I'm going to be playing with some things here. So as I'm going along, I'm going to let you know. So Legend LX says, all right, so let's talk about Shane Hooks for a second. So Shane Hooks, 6'5", 205. So for everybody that's been talking about we need size in our receiver core, then Shane would be the guy. So at 6'5", and a lot of places have him listed at 6'4". A lot of places have him listed at 6'5". I'm saying with cleats, he's 6'5". So he's 6'5", 205. And last year at JSU, 64 receptions, 748 yards, and 10 touchdowns, which I think is what everybody's looking at is he had 10 TDs. Now his average yards, which is what I look at more than anything when I'm looking at a receiver, is 11.7 yards, which is enough to get it done. So at that point, he's obviously the best receiver on JSU last year, which is an FCS school. Does that matter that he was at an FCS school? Travis was there. Shadur was there. We had them. I don't know that it matters at all. And by the way, guys, I know that I'm blurry in this. I think in the process of getting this new software, I have gone live on every channel that I have. So that said, anybody who subscribes to any one of my other channels will probably see me there, but probably see me blurry. So I won't be as blurry next time, and I do apologize. But so that's a lot of yards for a receiver at any school, really. Now, when you look at Willie Gaines, so Willie Gaines is coming. Also, JSU, 27 receptions, 446 yards, 5 TDs, but his average was 16.5. So we obviously know that Shane Hooks was probably a lot of short yardage for touchdowns, which is where he got a lot of his touchdowns. So that brought his average down. And then you have Travis Hunter, who had 18 receptions for 190 yards, 4 touchdowns, 10.6. So between the three of those at JSU last year, you're looking at 19 touchdowns. To give you a little bit of background on CU last year, CU scored a total of like 21 or 22 touchdowns, and that includes rushing and receiving. So just in the receiving from those three guys that we're talking about, we're looking at 19. Now, let's add in a couple of more really important people. Yes. So, Legend, I'm going to pop you up here again. Let's see if I can get you up here. Willie and Horn. Okay, so here we go. So we have Jimmy Horn, obviously, 37 receptions, 551 yards, 3 touchdowns, 14.9 yard average, huge average. Then you also have from USF, these are both USF guys, Xavier Weaver, 53 yards, and he was the number one receiver on USF last year. 53 receptions, 718 yards, 13.5 average for 6 TDs. Okay? So let's talk about that for a second. So now those five guys, so you've got Shane Hooks, Willie Gaines, and Travis from JSU. You've got Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn from USF. That does not include the rest of our receiver room. Let's talk just about those five guys. You've got a total of 29 touchdowns and 2,653 receiving yards. So that said, can you guys still see me? Give me a thumbs up because I just got an error. Okay, good. Thank you, Legend. Appreciate it. So at this point, we've got almost 2,700 yards and 29 TDs. That well eclipses Colorado's output from last year. And that's just with 5 receivers that we have on. That's not including anybody that we already have. And I'm obviously saying that, Jimmy Horn is already obviously here. Travis is already obviously here. But I'm talking about anybody from last year. So at this point, our receiver crew, that's if we can get Shane Hooks to come in, because 10 of those touchdowns was from Shane Hooks. So that said, let's go into Shane's letter that he sent to Ole Miss. Now, you have to understand that I am not a journalist. I think you guys probably know this, and I'm okay with this. So I'm going to say that Shane told Lane Kiffin while he was in a downward dog, or as I was actually told later on, might have possibly been doing the dolphin. And Shane probably looked right underneath his legs and said, I want to take this time to thank Coach Kiffin, Coach Nix, and the entire Ole Miss coaching staff for their consideration. While this has been a difficult process, I have decided to decommit from Ole Miss and reopen my recruitment. So he was in and out. So like a revolving door. I think he might even got stuck in the door and decided to just get out the other way. But there's some interesting stuff here. So obviously he went into the portal in December, and there's a lot of conjecture that he was coming to CU. He didn't. He ended up going to Ole Miss. He committed to Ole Miss on the 20th of April. And at that point, he was a rebel. Now, we had the spring game. The spring game was awesome. Lots of television. ESPN did a great job on that broadcast. And now we have a lot going on with the transfer portal with CU, and we have MLC jump into the portal, which surprised, I think, most of us. There's probably somebody out there that wasn't surprised, but I don't know that. I know that I was completely surprised. I actually did a video on it, and it was after that video that I decided to take a little time off, which I appreciate a lot of you that jumped in and were asking me where I was and stuff like that. It wasn't because of MLC, but after that video, I thought, this is going to get way bigger, and I'm not the channel that you watch that has breaking news. I don't, it's probably not going to be like that. I've got a professional career that I attend to for the majority of my life. This is something that I do on the side for fun. So when I'm not usually there for breaking news. I want to get a lot of these transfers in, a lot of these transfers out, and then I'll do videos on those as I go, just kind of wrapping those up in the way that I do. And that's kind of how I'm going to handle this situation for just a little bit longer. And then once we get past that, I'm going to go into some old school buff stuff, which some of you might like and some of you may not. But I'm gonna be pumping out, kind of catching everybody up to where we are now and why you guys are involved in CU who aren't already buffs. So I'm going to give you that information now. That said, after MLC left, that was on the 20. He put his letter out on the 23rd. He actually it was in the portal on the 24th, and that at that point, I think that's when Hook started to think about this. And granted, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. This is just me talking. But now we have more room in the receiving ranks. I think probably at this point too, we may have even made a few phone calls. And next thing you know, Shane Hooks is out at Ole Miss and potentially coming here. So now that we have said that, I've wrapped up pretty much everything I'm going to talk about from Shane Hooks. Would I like to have Shane Hooks? Yes, I would like to have Shane Hooks. Now that we have MLC gone and we've got the likes of Willie Gaines and Xavier Weaver coming to join us, I think having a really tall guy, really kind of big physical receiver, somebody who has really stuck out at another university, regardless of what university it was. We're talking about, guys, at this point, we're talking about like the top 2 or 3 receivers from 2 different universities, one of them that won a championship. And you put all those on one team, and now all of a sudden, and you put a quarterback behind it that also won a championship, and obviously we know Shedeur as a baller. You put that receiving core with him, especially when you have Shane Hooks, Willie Gaines, and Travis Hunter, who he has thrown balls to for a long time. I don't know that you're going to be able to stop our passing game. And that is a big part of what Lewis is bringing to this offense, is the fact that we will be able to do that. Now, all we have to do is balance out that rushing game. And we know Smoke coming in and Dylan Edwards being there. And my boy Offerdahl, who needs to get better and jump back in there for summer workouts so we can see him a little bit more. And I'm hoping to get an interview with Charlie. I'm letting him do his thing. He's got finals coming up, and I don't want to mess with that because this is not important compared to that. And then we'll get back on that train. So let me go into the comments and throw another comment, a few more comments in here. Let's see. I've got one from. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. We're going to put that one up here. Plus, Alton is coming. That's true. We have a whole lot of people coming. Alton's going to change our game, and we'll go into that in a different video as well. Wilkinson's coming. Yeah. I mean, when you're talking about rushing and passing right now, our offense went from before the spring game, we thought it was really good, to after the spring game. If once all these people actually show up on campus and they start their player summer workouts, it's going to be just awesome. And it's going to be fun to see what that brings. So we have one up here that says, "I'm from Africa. Woke up early to hear Buffs news." Wow, that's pretty incredible. So what is that in Africa now? You guys have to be like what, 6 or 8 hours ahead of us? And then let's go to. I'm going to see if I can scroll up here. Now, keep in mind, guys, I am using a new software, and this has not worked out. So I'm not going to lie to you. This is a hot mess. Let's see. Let's see. Legend says MLC is hanging with Shador a lot. You see him on the video yesterday. Yeah, I know. I saw that too. And there's been a couple of other people that said that MLC is. I'm going to pop this one up here. The MLC is getting a new NIL deal with CU. So I don't know where that comes from. That's G3 said that, but it's possible. I don't know that. It's 3:23 in South Africa. Cheers. If you don't already have a beer, then you need to get one. Yeah, I know. So I don't know that it's someone says Streamlabs the best for going live. So I think what happened was I've got, good grief, guys. I probably got 6 or 7 channels. I only really post on 2 of them. And so actually one other one that is part of this group is going live too. I think I'm going live on three channels right now. So there's a lot of confused people probably in Bronco land right now because, and I don't mean Broncos, I build, let's see, vintage Broncos, vintage Jeeps, and vintage motorcycles on my off time when I'm not doing this and I'm not having my full-time career. I'm doing that. In fact, I'm looking at right now 12 motorcycles that are in line to get restoration done on them. And if you want to see any of that, just go to Alpine Garage. This is Alpine Garage Sports. My other main channel is Alpine Garage without the sports, and it has everything else in it. So we're going to be doing that. But in any case, I think we're going live on that, and it has split my bandwidth into shreds. And I'm trying to delete that other channel, and I can't do it. So let's get back to the stream real quick. I'm going to end this in about 5 minutes, guys. I am cooking ribs right now, and I am derelict in my responsibilities. The last time I went live, I was cooking pork green chili, and it didn't burn, but I think I overcooked it a little bit. Same thing with these ribs. So we're going to get this out of here pretty quickly. Zai says, if MLC happens to come back, that'll be interesting for the offense. A lot of options to give the ball to. So here's my personal opinion on MLC coming back, guys. My assumption is based on the information that I saw, or based on what we saw at the spring game, and based on how he did in the spring game, that MLC would probably be, what's the word I want to use? Appreciated if he came back. But now we have all these other guys in there too. So I don't know. Anywhere that MLC goes, he's going to be a standout. So he doesn't necessarily have to come back here. I'd love him to come back here, but he doesn't have to come back here. In fact, I think he's probably going to go somewhere else. I think Grizz is right. I think MLC is going to BYU. So we need at least one big body receiver. Hooks would be a great guy. Hooks is as big a receiver as you can get. I don't know a lot of other receivers. There's certainly not a lot of people in the portal. In fact, if you look in the portal right now, the 247 portal, I think it's 2 of the top 3 receivers are our old guys going out. So we have Shane Hooks has actually came in at number 10 in the transfer portal, and that is, if you're looking at the 247 transfer portal, that's number 10 out of all of the available players, not just wide receivers. So he's obviously going to be a hot commodity. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to come to CU. He may be playing the NIL game as well. So, Shane may not come here, but I wanted to throw it out there just because it's exciting to think that. We've been thinking that for months, and it hasn't come to fruition, and now we get to think about it again. We have 102 people right now watching, and I appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you very much. And I think at that point, I'm going to take one more comment. We're going to be out of here. I'm going to let you get on with your night, and then I'm going to fix my live stream issues. I'm going to do another live stream likely on Sunday night just to practice a little bit more. And then next week, we're going to be going into more live streams. Legend LX says, CU will have the best pass game in the Pac 12 this year. So, right now, without Shane Hooks, it's looking pretty darn good because we have Willie Gaines, we have Travis, we have Xavier Weaver, Jimmy Horn, plus we have all the guys that we had before that. There's a lot of guys in it. Plus, we have some good tight ends. We have some good receivers that are coming in and some good receivers that can catch balls in the flats. So with all of that going on and Lewis coming in and making this offense scatter like shotgun fire, then I agree. Do we need Shane Hooks? No. If we had Shane Hooks, I think it would be almost unstoppable. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm going to go make sure my ribs aren't burnt, and we will be doing this again Sunday night at 7 o'clock. I'm just going to state that right now. I don't even know what commitments I have, but I want to fix this and get this right, and I appreciate all of you for being on here. The next time on Sunday night, I'm going to be giving out another hat, one of these hats that I make. You can ask, let's see who is in here. Legend got one of my hats not too long ago for being a great subscriber and answering a question right. So we're going to be giving one away at 7 o'clock on Sunday night. That's 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we will have a good content for you. And I promise you, I will have fixed the video because above me here, we have the 1994 Maryland, Michigan game going on. And you guys probably didn't get to see that. I'm looking at it and I can barely see it right now. So I will promise you to bring you that back because Cordell was here this last weekend and I'm still on a high from Cordell being here. So thanks again, guys. That's a wrap from Alpine Garage Sports. And if you haven't already heard, we coming.